You wake up on a concrete sidewalk. 4 a.m. The city hasn't started yet. You feel inside your pocket and count $3.47. That is everything you own. At the exact same moment, 19 blocks away, a man in a glass tower signs a document that moves more money than you will see in 1,000 lifetimes. Both of you are human. Both of you are breathing the same air. But you are not living in the same world. Not even close. There are 14 levels of wealth on this planet. Tonight, you're going to feel every single one of them. Here is the ladder. Level 1, homeless. $0 to $20 a day. Survival mode. Every hour is about shelter and calories. Level 2, poverty. 11 to 25,000 a year. The bills always win. Level 3, working class. 25 to 50,000, a roof but no cushion. Level 4, lower middle class. 50 to 75,000, the first taste of choice. Level 5, middle class. 75 to 150, the American dream, and a 30-year mortgage. Level 6, upper middle class. 150 to 500,000, doctors and lawyers, busy but comfortable. Level 7, rich, 2 to 10 million net worth. Level 8, very rich, 10 to 30. Level 9, ultra high net worth, 30 to 100 million. Level 10, Centimillionaire, 100 million to a billion. Level 11, billionaire. Level 12, decabillionaire, 10 to 100 billion. Level 13, hectobillionaire, 100 billion to 1 trillion. Level 14, trillionaire, not yet reached by a single human being in history. 14 rungs. And the distance between them is not what you think. Before we climb, one piece of math that will break your brain. A doctor earning $300,000 a year feels rich. Vacations, good wine, and nice car. Most people would kill for that number. Now imagine a billionaire. Feels like the next level up, right? Wrong. A doctor at $300,000 is mathematically closer to a homeless person with zero than to a billionaire. Run the numbers. From 0 to 300,000 is 300,000. From 300,000 to 1 billion is 999,700,000. The gap is 3,000 times bigger. The doctor is not rich in the billionaire's world. The doctor is a rounding error. You are a rounding error. And the guy you think is rich, he is a rounding error too. Level 1, homeless. You have $0 to $20 on any given day. You do not own a key. Every decision is a calorie decision. Where will I sleep tonight? Will the shelter have a bed? Is this sandwich from the trash safe enough? People walk past you like you are furniture. There's a woman named Rosa who works at a hot dog stand on 5th Street. She slips you a bottle of water every Tuesday. She is your whole economy. You do not have a social life. You have a weather forecast. Level 2, poverty. You cross back into a small apartment. 11 to 25,000 a year. You have walls. You have a door. And you have a math problem that never gets solved. Rent is $700. Electric is $110. Food is $400 if you're careful. Your paycheck is $1,900. You learn which bill is okay to skip. The collections calls start. The diggity trade begins. Level 3, working class. 25 to 50,000 a year. You have a truck or a used sedan that you pray starts in winter. You work overtime not because you are ambitious. You work overtime because it is the only way to see daylight after the bills. You know your co-worker Dale. He has been there 17 years. He has the same truck, the same lunchbox, the same quiet anger. You have health insurance through work, but you still Google symptoms for 2 hours before you decide whether to go to urgent care because a visit costs you groceries for the week. You go on vacation once in 3 years to a lake 2 hours away, and you remember for the rest of your life. You never think you are poor. You think you are normal because everyone around you lives exactly the same way. That is a trap and the dignity of level 3 at the same time. Level 4, lower middle class. 50 to 75,000. For the first time, you have choice. You can order delivery tonight if you want. You stop checking prices on basic groceries. You take a real vacation, like a week in Orlando, and you feel like a different species. Level 5, middle class. 75 to 150,000. You buy a house. 3-bedroom, Fake brick, suburbs. You sign a 30-year mortgage and you think that piece of paper is freedom. It is a leash with a nice view. You get a Labrador named Biscuit. You drive a late model SUV. You have a Roth and a 401k, and you read one personal finance book a year. You feel like you made it. And you did, relative to where you came from. But relative to level 10, you are still, with respect, a rounding error. The middle class is the largest demographic on Earth, and also the most invisible one to the people above it. You are not the target market. You are the traffic. Level 6, upper middle class. 150 to 500,000. This is where doctors live, lawyers, engineers at top firms, dentists with 2 locations. You fly business class, but you still check the price before you book. You have a vacation home, or you are thinking about one. Private school for the kids is on the table. You drive a Tesla or a 7 Series BMW. You have a financial advisor named Claire. She sends quarterly reports with the word allocation in them. You work 80 hours a week and call it career. Your stress changes. You are no longer worried about rent. You are worried about whether your specialty will be disrupted, about whether your kids will get into the right school, about whether your marriage will survive the hours. Money stopped being the immediate problem and started being the thing you use to buy future immunity. From what? You're not sure yet, but you feel it coming. Level 7, rich. 2 to 10 million net worth. Here is where something shifts. Your money starts making money faster than you can spend it. You have a primary home, a vacation home, maybe a boat. You fly private for the first time. You remember the exact smell of the leather, the exact sound when the door seals, the way your body softens because you know you will not be searched. You will not be delayed. You are not cargo anymore. You start attending charity galas. You sit next to people who are quietly worth 20 times what you are worth, and you cannot tell from their shoes. You learn the first rule of this level. Never announce it. The moment you announce it, you become a target, a mark, a charity, a problem. The rich stay rich by staying quiet. You stop telling people what you do. You start saying, I am in real estate, or I have a small business, and you watch their eyes go clear and bored, and that is exactly the effect you wanted. Level 8, very rich, 10 to 30 million. Level 9, ultra high net worth, 30 to 100 million. Now you are not just rich. You are an institution. You have a family office, a 3-person team that manages your wealth, your taxes, your trusts, your art, your foundation. You are not choosing between stocks. You are choosing between asset classes, real estate, venture, hedge funds, farmland, fine art, collectibles. You fly private every time. You stop knowing what airports look like from the curb. You have a chef at your main home, not a celebrity chef, a competent one. A woman named Elise who knows your sodium preference. Your problems at this level are weird. You worry about staff turnover. You worry about your kids growing up disconnected from reality. You worry about a specific article a journalist is writing. You have lawyers on retainer for things that have not happened yet. You are protected, and you are slightly paranoid, and those 2 feelings live in the same room. Level 10, Centimillionaire. 100 million to 1 billion. This is where wealth becomes a weapon. You do not have a job anymore. You have a portfolio of decisions. You can call a senator and he will call you back the same afternoon. You can decide to fund a candidate, a study, a magazine, a documentary. And within 90 days, the culture tilts a few degrees. Your yacht has a name. Your private jet has a name. Your security detail has a schedule. You do not fly commercial ever. But you still carry an ordinary-looking passport because the ordinary one works better at borders than the celebrity one. 1 in 10,000 Americans are in this club. You have met most of them. They are all normal, and none of them are normal. They all had a moment, a specific moment, a contract, a sale, an IPO, a lucky bet, where the axis of their life tilted sideways and never tilted back. You remember the exact time of day it happened. You could draw the room. Level 11, billionaire. 1 in 4 million people. There are only around 3,000 of them alive on Earth. Congratulations. Welcome. You will not know how to feel. The money is not the point anymore, because you literally cannot spend it. You cannot outrun the compounding. Your worries are existential now. Legacy. History books. Your name on a building, a disease, a university, a foundation. Your security team is a small army. You have a team whose only job is to know where your children are at all times. You have a team whose only job is to know what is on the internet about you at all times. You do not have friends. You have a vetting process. New people appear with agendas you learn to read in under 90 seconds, and you are almost never wrong. You are terrifyingly lonely, and you are told this is a privilege problem, and it is also still real. The first rule of this level, quietly said between you and one other billionaire you actually trust. Nothing feels the way you thought it would. Level 12, decabillionaire. 10 to 100 billion. There are maybe 150 people on Earth at this level. You are not a person anymore. You are a force. You do not call senators. You call countries. You can move a small nation's currency by saying the wrong sentence on a podcast. You do not own companies. You own categories. When you enter an industry, every existing company in that industry goes into emergency meetings at afternoon. Level 13, hectobillionaire. 100 billion to 1 trillion. There are roughly 15 humans at this level, ever. You own public infrastructure in a way that is almost embarrassing to name out loud. Satellites, shipping lanes, data pipelines, the code running inside billions of devices. Governments consult you. Governments are afraid of you. Your donations to a single election cycle can outweigh the entire budget of a political party. You no longer live inside the system. You are partly building it, partly steering it, and the scary part is that you cannot really step out of it anymore. You are married to the machine. Level 14, trillionaire. Nobody has ever reached this level in the history of our species. Not a king, not a pharaoh, not a robber baron. Not Mustade, not Bezos, not Arnault. Mathematically, inside the next 20 years, someone probably will. Think about what a single $1 trillion means. It is not money anymore. It is an economy. A trillionaire would effectively own a nation's size share human productive output. They could unilaterally cure a major disease on a whim. They could unilaterally fund a civilization on Mars on a whim. They could also unilaterally destabilize a currency on a whim. The scary part is not that they would. The scary part is that they could. And no democracy on Earth has a real framework for what to do with a private citizen who holds that much leverage. The question is not whether we reach this level. The question is whether we notice the moment it happens, and whether we built the guardrails in time. Here is the thing that will quietly wreck you. Most humans live their entire lives between level 3 and level 5. Working class, middle class. That is most of the people you have ever loved. That is most of the people you will ever meet. The entire range of stress and dignity and hope and disappointment that most people experience happens inside 3 rungs of a 14-rung ladder. The top 4 rungs, 11 through 14, contain roughly 3,000 people alive right now at 8 billion. The distance in lived reality between a middle-class father and a decabillionaire is not like the distance between 2 people. It is like the distance between 2 different species of being. And almost no one gets to move more than 1 rung in a lifetime. Once in a generation, someone moves 5. That person becomes a myth. The myth tells you the system is fluid. The math says the system is fossilized. Both things are true. The exception happens. It just does not happen to most of the people hoping for it. So what do you do with this? You are probably not going to become a billionaire. That is okay. Almost nobody is. But there is a useful truth underneath all of this. At every level, the stress does not disappear. It just changes shape. At 0, you worry about food. At middle class, you worry about the mortgage. At 10 million, you worry about your kids losing touch with reality. At 1 billion, you worry about your legacy and your safety. The lie of the ladder is that the top rung is where you finally stop worrying. It is not. Worry is just a feature of being human. What actually changes across levels is the size of the problems you are allowed to have. A level 5 problem is small. A level 13 problem can reshape history. Pick your problems on purpose. Pick the rung you want to live on for the reasons you actually care about, not because someone told you the next rung is where happiness lives. Because the person on the next rung is looking up at the one above them, wondering the same thing. 14 levels, same species, different universes. If you made it to this rung with me, do the thing that costs you nothing and helps this channel more than you think. Subscribe. Tell me in the comments which rung felt most familiar and which one broke your brain. Next video, we go deeper. How people actually move between rungs and why almost everyone who tries fails